Welcome to the Ask Dr. Deanna show. I'm Dr. Deanna Holdren, your host. Join me weekly as I cover various health-related lifestyle medicine topics that you get to request. This show is for anyone who wants to proactively improve their health position. I hope you enjoy the show. Hey, everybody. Thanks so much for joining me today. I am again excited to bring you another topic that is something that I've always been very, very passionate about. It's something that I have been aware of for at least the past 20 years and has definitely had an impact in my life. It's also had an impact in the lives of my children and all of those who know me. And that is the area of toxin awareness. I can remember many, many years ago, probably 20 years ago, reading a little study that talked about the fish, specifically the male fish in the Potomac River. And what they found was that the male fish had been feminized, something had feminized them, and that there was an increasing number of male fish who basically were intersexed or, could basically produce eggs, which was a female fish function. And so the scientists, the researchers were asking the question, why is this happening? And as scientists, we often look at, fish and frogs, things that are in the water, to kind of determine, what's going on in an environment, because they are thin-skinned and typically are going to see some effects maybe before other animals would and that sort of thing. So anyway, what they discovered was that these fish were being feminized by chemicals that were actually pollutants in the water and that were having an estrogenic effect. Many of these chemicals were coming from different companies that maybe were dumping things into the water. Sometimes they were coming from pharmaceuticals. When you look at water treatment facilities and how we process water in our country, treatment facilities are basically there to eliminate bacteria, things that are harmful that are going to make you sick. It doesn't really filter out pharmaceuticals. And so, as, we saw an increase in, for example, birth control pills or hormone type products, many of those are excreted as active metabolites in the urine. And again, that ends up making its way eventually into the waterways through this whole cycle. And so on top of that, they found that there were, again, these chemicals that were having an effect. So this was concerning to me. I kind of thought about that for a while and I thought, gosh, this just has, some potentially very devastating effects down the road on fertility. And so let's take a further look. Well, then I happened to look at a study that an endocrinologist did. An endocrinologist is somebody who studies hormones. And they basically studied the blood and urine from young teenage girls who are using cosmetics. And what they found were alarmingly high levels of toxins in the blood and in the urine of these young girls who are using cosmetics or personal care products. And what they found was that, again, these high levels, the endocrinologist basically said, these chemicals are entering their system through their skin, what they're using topically. And in fact, many of them, the majority of them are endocrine disruptors. They will actually land or end up, migrating to the ovaries. And many of these girls will eventually have trouble with fertility because of the way these chemicals affect the ovaries. So we call those endocrine disruptors. And they are really profuse in society. They are rampant in a lot of our personal care products, cosmetics, skincare products, hair care products, etc. And again, they need to not be in there. So let me give you a little bit of a statistic on this because this is something, I'm all about living at optimal levels, functioning at optimal levels, being healthy, being happy, feeling balanced, and, just really thriving and living a vibrant life. And if there is something that I'm being exposed to or that my kids are being exposed to that is causing adverse effects, then I want to know about that. And I just want to try to eliminate it. I just want to do the best I can. I know that we can never be 100% and we can't be perfect with it, but anything that we can eliminate, we should. It'll make a difference, right? In the long run. So basically, with over 10,000 chemicals that are used to formulate cosmetics in the United States, only 11 of them have been banned by the FDA. So over 10,000 chemicals that are used to formulate cosmetics in the United States, only 11 have been banned by the FDA. Interestingly, 2,762 have been banned by the European Union. Okay, let that sink in for a minute. That is a huge, huge difference. And basically, we know that these parabens, phthalates, formaldehyde donating preservatives, triclosan, which triclosan was an antibiotic that was just pervasive in kids' hand sanitizer for many, many years. Again, used as an antibacterial, and they found that it was very, very harmful to the system. PFAs, and just so many other chemicals that are there. And one of the things that people maybe don't realize, I know I didn't really tie these two together until I started to really look at ingredients. But basically, the skin is one of the largest organs of our body. And it's actually responsible. It's got a lot of responsibilities, but one of those responsibilities is detoxification. We actually can get things out through our skin. We also can get things in through our skin. And in medicine, we use the transdermal method all the time, or transdermal delivery for medications. It could be a pain control patch, blood pressure medication, birth control patch, nitroglycerin. If you're having, chest pain and you go to the emergency room, they're going to give you some nitroglycerin. And if that chest pain is alleviated, they're probably going to put some nitroglycerin paste on your chest wall. Well, again, what is that doing? It is absorbing through your skin and having an effect systemically. Systemically means throughout your entire body. So of course it matters what we're putting on our skin. It matters what cosmetics we use. It matters what body lotion we use. It matters what shampoo and conditioner we use. And so that's the reason that, to me, it's important. It's very difficult for me to learn the names of 10,000 chemicals and figure out, okay, what's safe and what's not safe. I mean, we've got our top 12 bad ones, that sort of thing that are, more commonly known. But how does one, live and know, well, what do I use? And basically, I always say it's by partnering typically with a company that has decided that this is what they're going to be about. They're going to produce clean products and give you that assurance. Okay. And there are many out there. So I want to encourage you there. But basically, just be aware it does matter. And you might say, gosh, well, this is such a small exposure. Does it really matter? Yes, it does. And it does because many of these chemicals are cumulative. Imagine if it's a makeup that I'm using every single day. I'm putting this on my skin. It's absorbing through my skin into my system. And if it has those endocrine disruptors, like I mentioned in the study with the teenage girls, again, that's going to accumulate most likely in the ovary, probably in other places as well. And it's going to cause long-term adverse effects because of that toxicity and that buildup that would be experienced there. So there's so much we can do. That's the exciting thing. That's what I love about functional medicine. That's what I love about what I do in my practice, is that there are so many things that we can do just to get a little bit better. And you might be looking at it and going, this is overwhelming, the number of products that I use. How can I possibly make a difference here? Start with one. Okay. Start with one product, switch to a clean line, make a difference there. And then just, keep adding on over time. And I promise in the long haul, it will make a difference. Okay. When I look at what's going on in medicine, we see just absurd rates of cancer in our society amongst children and adults. We see incredible rates of autoimmune disorders in our society. We see incredible rates of, just different types of, arthritis and inflammatory conditions and allergies and asthma and so many things. And I just know that if we clean up our diet, if we clean up our lifestyle, if we make things, again, nobody's going to be 100%, but where we can avoid things or eliminate things, we should. It will make a difference in the long run. And we will live healthier, more vibrant lives and feel good and feel balanced and so forth. So, and hopefully we'll have a dramatic improvement in so many of these cancer statistics that we see out there. So I hope this has been helpful. Just start reading labels and again, search out that company that is safe and that you don't have to worry. They've made that they have toxic ingredients, that they have made a commitment to providing products that are safe to consumers. So thanks so much for joining me. Next week, we are going to be talking about a new topic. I'm going to go into detail. This is one that has been requested by one of our listeners. We're going to talk a little bit about sleep apnea. Are you having trouble, waking up tired in the morning? Are you, the person who's keeping the whole house awake at night? We're going to kind of look at the different types of sleep apnea. And, most of the time people think that sleep apnea is something that is, primarily people who are overweight struggle with. And that's not the case at all. There are plenty of other people who have no weight to lose and they still have struggle with sleep apnea. So I hope you'll tune in for that as well. Thanks so much. Have a great day. I hope you enjoyed that episode. For more information, visit me at deannaholdren.com. Find me on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Dr. Deanna Holdren. I really want to hear from you, so message me. I love taking your messages and creating topics from them. Please rate, review, subscribe, and share my show with those who have an interest in health and wellness. Thank you for tuning in and see you next week.